Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. Today I'm back to work on the grungy or grunge collab, hashtag grunge collab. So if you're making anything grungy or want to participate in this, you can join right in. You don't have to be using my digitals. It's just Carol and I are using my grungy digitals, whichever ones that we want to use. And so that's how the whole thing got started. But you can use whatever you want and still use the hashtag grunge collab so that other people can see what grungy things you're making if you're making grungy things. I have to move a piece of paper, hold on. I had some paper drying on a piece of deli paper and it was moving in the fan and bugging me. So what I have done without you guys, which I apologize, but sometimes you know, it's just got to be done. I cut around this once it was dry. You remember this is just the brown packing paper that you get in Amazon packaging, and it's 2 sheets of it glued together, you know, crinkled all up, glued down onto the inside of the cover. And then I've taken this metallic folk art gold, what color does it say? What the actual, oh, just antique gold. Or antique, it says. Anyways, and I would just dab a tiny bit on my finger and rub it all over. Just be careful, don't get a big glob on your finger and set it down on your paper, because you're going to end up with a big splotch. So what I kind of would do is just skip along and put a little bit and then rub all over the place. So that is how I did that, and we'll be using that gold again so you can see a little bit better what I'm talking about. But we're going to work on a topper for right here. And although I love this just the way it is, I always feel like they need toppers, and that maybe is just a me thing. But anyway, that's what we're gonna do. So how is everybody? I hope you guys are wonderful. I'm doing well, just trying to stay cool. I'm sure you can hear the fan, and I apologize, but I can't be in this room right now without the fan going because I will melt. So yeah, it's still pretty toasty. Toasty roasty. I'm just gonna ink this up quite a bit actually. And we're gonna use the gold paint again, and I might just put a tiny bit on that. I like that. That's a Tim Holtz piece. And then I have some of this paper from Amazon that's really thin. They call it scrapbooking paper, but they're this size. And I've just like crinkled the, you know, rolled the pages in, folded them, run this on here real hard. It like tears and inks at the same time to get that look that I got going there. That's what I wanted. Nice and grungy. And I also have this paper, which I peeled off of this corrugated cardboard. It's the top layer that I peeled off, and it's very thin. You can see the glue that's on the back, but I'm going to use this side. Yeah, that's kind of a cool feeling paper. So we're going to put some gold on that. I'm liking this little bit of gold with the grunge. I do love that juxtaposition, as you all know, if you've followed me for any amount of time. If you haven't, I love that juxtaposition of things not all being just grunge, right? So I've got, see how I kind of dab it off a little bit. You don't want like gobs, because then you're gonna, you know, you're gonna get a glop of paint, possibly not what you want. If that's what you want, of course, then you'll be set. But I just like a little bit. And there could be tools to do, you know, you might use sponges or all kinds of things. And if that's what you're more comfortable doing, go for it. I just happen to be one of those people that I just use my fingers for a lot of the art activities that I do. And that's just how I like to do it. But of course, do as you like. Oh, I need to do my hugs and blessings. Hugs and blessings to Mindy, Rhonda, and Pat. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your kind comments, for always watching, and just being your awesome selves. Really appreciate all of you. And welcome to new subscribers. I've had a few people tell me they are new. Welcome, welcome. And welcome back to my, those of you who have followed me for either a short time or a long time. Love ya. We had a nice calm weekend, mostly worked, did stuff here around the house, watched a little Olympics. We didn't go anywhere because the smoke, again, is just, I mean, we walk in the morning early because that's when it tends to be the best. It's not descended into the valley so bad at that time. So, but we just didn't do a lot of other outdoor things because just not fun when it's like it is right now. And we had thunderstorms, as I told you guys last week. Aiden and I heard them while we were chatting here in the craft room, and apparently that started all kinds of new fires. So yeah, I don't know. Idaho's in a mess at the moment. So this is some of that paper that we dyed together and crumpled up. Then I ran it through my Big Shot in an embossing folder that I have that has that design on it. And then I did the same thing with the gold that I just did on here, but I did it on here. So now I'm gonna just ink it really well. So yeah, nothing big to talk about, just, oh, for me it's Monday, that's why I'm talking about the weekend, I guess. For you it will be Tuesday. Okay, so that I'm gonna put on here somehow. I want to see the A. I like the A there. And then this one, I think we'll put about here. Tilt that so it comes out a little more. Let's put a little more. Oh, that inside part I also inked around. I used the scorched timber to go around the edge of the inside cover before I put the gold on. So we'll kind of put that maybe like that. This piece like this. And then this, I think, is going to go about here. I might go ahead and just put a little gold around that. I know, once I get started with the gold, I know, I go a little cuckoo with it. Because I do have fun with it. But I just really like that look with the grunge for some reason. And I know it might not read super great on the camera to see the gold, but hopefully you can kind of tell. You can see this a little better now. I notice the shine is definitely coming through now. Because I know when I first did that, a lot of people mentioned they couldn't see the gold. And that is just one of those things, unfortunately, with the camera. I'm just kind of... It doesn't always read perfectly for that type of thing. And this is another thing, obviously, you're not going to do this to every single piece in the, well, I mean, you could, in the journal, but if you're time constrained like I am, I'd never finish a journal with all the other things going on if I did this to everything. But it's fun to do, like on the cover and maybe a few pieces. So go on there. I'll have to wipe my finger off on a paper towel. And it'll just have to be gold. If only it was real, right? Okay, and then I have some cheesecloth. I might just put a little bit of it. And this has just been coffee dyed. I always forget you can't pull on that. It just pulls all the strings out. Just put maybe a little here. Part of that is going to get covered with the oval piece, but you'll still see some of it. We just have to make sure we don't hang off one side or the other. Oh no, how did I get that? Oh, because the edge isn't dry yet, Amy. You ding-a-ling. Okay, let's not touch it for a minute. Then I have this gentleman, and he looks very fabulous, so I thought that went well with that Tim Holtz piece. All dressed for a cold day, it looks. Which is the opposite of here today. Go put him about there. And then I've got bits like this that I want to use. This part of a playing card. That's another thing to think about, and I just didn't start thinking about it till recently, but using parts of playing cards rather than maybe the whole playing card is kind of fun, because the numbers are cool, and then the, you know, like the club's symbol or whatever, just something different. I'll use the this is the smoked timber or scorched timber. I always want to say smoked. Why do I want to say that? Scorched. Gosh, up where we ride, we saw pictures of it. Not where I took pictures the last time, but one of the other spots we ride is all black. So the next time we ride there, it's just gonna be, it's just all black. So that's kind of depressing. What else do I want on there? Got a piece of this might be fun somewhere. I don't like necessarily the red. And this is just, I have a big old, I don't know what these kind of tape measures are used for. I mean, I guess they could be used for anything, but it's an old one, because I didn't do any of that distress or anything on it. It's just like that. I found it at a antique store. It's not a clothing one because it's got a big leather piece on it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it was originally meant for. Tea bag. So yeah, there's lots of steps in putting these things together, that's for sure. Come over that a little. Over here, just have it hang out a little. It's just the texture and the layers. That's really kind of a important piece. Maybe one of these. I think I'll cut it with my decal scissors. So basically just a bunch of random stuff, but it kind of works for the whole grungy thing, I feel like. So that's basically kind of what I'm gonna do. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to just kind of flip this over and we'll just kind of put it together piece by piece. I might add a little more ink to this one, even though it's got the gold. So yeah, when you pull certain papers off, like corrugated cardboard or any kind of packaging, sometimes it's too thick and I don't know, I wouldn't use it really. But other times you find pieces like this that are just super thin and they kind of have a neat feel to them. So I like to use stuff like that. I'm going to use tacky glue because I know it will stick to this well. I'm gonna tilt it a little more, I think, than what I had, and squish and do all those things because that gives it more texture and makes it not look so flat on there. A little more right there. And I'm dyeing some seam binding right now. Well, it's in tea. It's not, to go around it. So I'll probably put that in with eyelets. You could leave some pieces loose if you wanted to. I just get a little worried with covers doing that. You don't want it catching on things, you know. I mean, obviously these journals are more like art pieces. Not that you can't use them, because totally, I always want people to use the journals. It's just something that you maybe aren't gonna just like throw in the backseat of your car. That kind of thing. That's why I don't buy expensive purses, because they're always on a floor, in a car, whatever, you know. So I don't do that. But yeah, these journals are not really meant to be maybe taken everywhere. I think I'll do that kind of a thing. I think that will look good. Kind of looks like old wallpaper, old grungy, dirty wallpaper. Okay, and then we have this piece. Oops, thought that was separate, but it's this whole piece. That one we're gonna kind of put a little glue in here where it's folded and what have you. I think I did already in some spots, but I might not push that all the way down because I might take another little bit of this and put it up there. It's always funny when you start putting it down because you always do it just a little bit different than it was originally. And so that changes spacing and you might have a little more room for something else, which is fun. And we're gonna use a little of this under these, just because it's easier to get under there with. Okay. I think that needs a little more ink on the edges. And I'm just using my book over here because it's easier to get the edges a little more than if you hold it in your hand when it's this thin. Just kind of wiggles all over the place. Gentleman. I think that'll work. I think I had that in a different spot, but we're just gonna put it on here. Because I had it under there, but we'll put it under here. The problem with the tea bag is you probably won't totally glue it down because you can see where the glue is. I mean, this will dry clear, but just, I don't know, have a little bit here. Right there. Do I want a little, like, do I want this to go? No, that's not gonna work now. I think I did originally, but could tilt it a little bit so that hopefully we can get the whole saying. Oh, yeah, thank you, whoever yelled at me. Thank you. And yes, you can hardly see the brown paper behind there, but that's okay. That's how it ends up when you're using layers, when you're doing layer things. It just turns out that way. I think I want this under here, don't I? Or don't I? Could put it oh, that's two twos. Where did I put that tape measure? I don't really want 2 twos. Where did I put it? Oh, I hate when I do that. Maybe we do. We are gonna have the red. I guess there is some red on this. I don't want a 2-2, ha ha ha. Just one is enough. No, I don't want that. Maybe a stamp. These are Tim Holtz stamps. I don't like things like that. The little hole right there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but that bugs me. That little spot. So, I know I am very silly, but that's just the way I am. Make sure we get the top of his head and his feet completely so they don't get caught on anything, hopefully. More straight. I keep grabbing that piece of cheesecloth. Go away. You will have glue all over you. Now, clearly, if you're not a fan of photographs that aren't like people you know or whatever, just use something else. You could use a floral, like a dried flower image, or just a number, whatever you feel like. This is just my version. But you can do these in so many ways. All right, so that is my topper. Now we'll put on our corners. Where did I set them? Oh, they're right there. Oh, I need this. Yeesh. So I'm using these kind of antiqued brass because I did do the gold, so I figured that kind of has that gold tone. And I watched Gail do this, is how I figured it out, so I just kind of do it the same way she does it. I think she does use Fabri-Tac, but I don't. And however you want to push them closed, sometimes I use a scissor or something. My hands are not the bestest. The bestest in the westest. You just want to make sure they're on there straight and push down well. And I don't think they come off very easy, not that I'm aware of anyway. That'll just help because this isn't a super dense cover like an actual book. So it'll just help from those corners getting all dinged up. But as I mentioned, this isn't exactly something you want to throw in the back of your car. I got looking at the Somerset Studio magazine, the new one. Oh my gosh, there's so many cool things in there. They did a lot of kind of art doll things in that one this time. So that's fun. So I'm trying to... I might do a grungy one this week. Then it'll go in here. But then after that we'll do... Oh no! Why did it do that? Did not get it tight enough. This is the problem with having horrible fingers. If I'd have thought of it, I would have brought my little pliers, but I didn't think of it, so until I started doing this. But yes, little pliers definitely help. But it's amazing what you can do with a pair of scissors. Okay, there's those. If you don't know, when I say Gail, I mean Gail Augustinelli, usually. If not, I'll specify. Only because most people know Gail in this genre of videos. Sweetest lady there ever was. She's so wonderful and helpful and always wants to help those people just starting out or whatever in journaling. I haven't had much time to watch her lately. Okay, one more, una más. Okay, things are on the tight now. And I might go back once everything's all dry and with a Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol just to make sure I got all the glue off of them. All right, so that is our cover now. And then I will sew in the signatures and put the piece of fabric on. Haven't done that. Oh, but I did add a piece of the brown packaging because I figured I might as well strengthen the spine a little bit more with that. So I did that. And then I think I'm going to put this bingo card with the ladies here. And these ladies I got from Collage Soup and this paper too. And then that's Tim Holtz. Some of these are my digitals. I just did all kinds of stuff in there that I thought was fun. I think I'll use the walnut stain. And this is a vintage bingo card. And I ordered these on Etsy. So they're pretty easy to find if you just do a search for bingo cards. This I'm going to put on. I like this because it's like having a big library card or pocket on there. And it's kind of big for a page. I mean, it would fit. It's a size that fits. It's just, I kind of prefer it in the front cover. And I love these ladies with their butterfly wings. Or one of them has wings, one of them has the butterfly in her hair. Trying to get it straight if I can. No, it looks too far that way. It's always tricky. And I don't want to do a whole lot to the inside of this. I'm just liking this the way it is. I may put a little more ink on it or something, but kind of just like that paper all crinkled in there. And there's so much going on the outside that it's kind of nice to have a calmer version inside, I think. This one did I back? Oh yeah, those are backed in craft paper. Okay, this will go back in. And then our signature will go in, and I have a few things I've just pinned in place. I think I'm going to put this on this piece of calculus just as kind of a flip, just so that it flips like that. So I wonder, I could have it as a little tuck at the back. I might back this just a little bit. To strengthen that edge. And this is more of that, that same paper. Just so where you are slipping a little something in and out, it'll have a little extra strength. Yeah, that's not too long. So I'm just going to add that. Maybe I want to tear it a little more even. Not a lot more even. And I am going to put this on with glue stick because it'll get edge to edge a little bit better. So for no other reason than to strengthen that, because we can tuck a little card in there or something. And I'm going to put a thumb notch. And that, hopefully, it's best to let the glue dry, as y'all know, but we're going to just wing it here and hope that it'll work. Nope. Does not like thin paper, these punches. They do not. They like thick, robust cardstock, and that's it. Well, it was also wet. That's my fault. That's how it works when you're trying to do videos. So if you have the option, obviously, let it dry. It will work much better. Yikes, sorry, didn't mean to make you deaf there. And then this will go over that, so we're not even going to see that. But we're going to have this little pocket here. So that's kind of fun. Okay. I think I need to go this way. There's a little opening right there. And I'm going to put a little here. And I'll put a little here. Sorry, it's always tricky figuring out where to put glue exactly. That will work best. This was for, I think that was one of the color combo. Oh, you know what? I'm such a dork. Were you guys yelling at me and I wasn't listening? Yes, I'm sure you were. I was thinking, oh, I totally got this. Oh my goodness. Well, at least I realized it before I completely glued it down. It needs to go on here and on the sides, and that's it. Good thing I turned it over. Thank you for yelling at me. That was a durr moment. Have them quite frequently. Okay. Now let's put something in there before it does get stuck closed. I mean, it's not like a super deep pocket, it's just a little pocket. But it's fun to have little hiding spots like that. Okay. A little bit crooked. All right, and that is also a pocket here, so it's all kinds of goodies there. So this will be on here like this, then you open it, you've got a little something here. Just have to keep moving that so that it doesn't end up sticking. You have to be a little smarter than the paper. All right. So that's good. What else did we do? That one's down. I need to do something with those tags. Oh, this one I think I'll put on this page as a belly band, like so. Or do I want it as a flip? You can't write on this page. So I think a belly band might be better suited. Needs a little more grunge. Okay. So we'll just do top and bottom. Don't know what I'll put in there, but we'll find something. Let me hold this piece of paper straight, so hopefully I can get this on here straight. There are lines in that ledger, but I don't know how reliably straight those are after I've cut it and everything. They actually look pretty good. After it's been scanned and cut, and because this is that digital. I don't have any good old ledger like that. It's so cool. Luckily, we have digitals, right? And then this pocket that we made for Somerset Studio, I think I want it right here. And I've done this both ways, where I have put the journal all together, sewed in the signature, and then added all the ephemera. But I think mostly I tend to do it this way, where I put the ephemera in, or at least a lot of it, and then sew it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You can do it either way. That part of the order of things doesn't really matter. Unless you find that one works better for you, then that's how you should do it. This is not the be-all end-all of how to do it. Because sometimes I get a lot of joy from like putting the whole cover and sewing in the signature and then decorating. Like, I don't know, it just depends on how the journal strikes me. And then we'll put something in that pocket. This one, I kind of like it over the page. I think I might leave it as a tuck. That way you could put a paper clip so it's not flopping like this all the time, because that would be real annoying. And I'll get one of those. I think I've got another one of those, or if I find my rusty ones. The little Tim Holtz one, the little paper clip. So I'll just glue here, here, and here. And then it'll have a spot behind where you can put something. I think about right there looks good. I know I probably drive you guys crazy because I'm always doing everything on top of stuff. I'm sure it works a lot better not to do that, but it's kind of how I do everything. And for now I'm going to put this one on there, but I think I will use even, I mean it matches because of the black threads, but I think I would prefer like a rusted one or something like that, antique looking one, paper clip that is. Okay, that is there. And then this one, I wanted to kind of just glue this so that this is a envelope that has a tag, and that's just paper that I splattered and all that on a few years ago now. But anyway, just kind of hook it on like that so that it comes down on the page, but it'll be part of this math page. And I'm not going to leave any weird tucks or anything like that. I need to ink this so that I remember. I wanted it a little sideways. Even though it's inked there like that, I want it this way. this is tricky. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how best to do this. Maybe if I mark it. Pencil. Take this out for now. So I'll glue just sort of that corner. Yeah, I'm a little silly, I know. How far down? And that paper's a little crooked too. Oh, let's try it. Let's take it out of here. Oh, but I need it in here. I know, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm a mess trying to figure this out. Because I want to make sure it doesn't end up hanging off of this other piece of paper. Okay, good. What I was worried about is getting glue all over the next page. And I didn't do that, so winning. And this envelope is a little cattywampus. And I think I'll glue down that little bit of a lip right here, just because I don't want it, again, getting caught on stuff, because that's not fun. All right, and then this will go back in here. And that's all the way glued down. This one, I think I'll glue it there. And then it'll open. You've got these extra papers you can use, but you can write here as well. And that one I think I'm gonna do like a two sides, so then you can tuck something behind it too. But I am going to put a pretty wide line just to make sure it's sticking well. Oh my gosh, what is my deal today? I'm sorry, you guys. But this goes to show, you know, even though I've been doing this forever, I mess this stuff up all the time. I wish I did not, but I do. I'm not going to pretend I don't. And my shaky hand's going cuckoo. Need a different paper towel. And that might be another one that I put a paper clip on this side and leave. It'll be a rusty one though. I just need to make sure that doesn't stick. All right, so I think that's where we're gonna stop today, since I can't seem to glue anything on the right sides, but we at least got our cover pretty much done. And like I said, when I stitch in the signature, I will add the piece of fabric on the spine. I just don't want to do that yet, but I think that looks good. And I like the corner dewars. But there it is up close, so you guys can kind of see a little bit better. It's a hot, grungy mess. All right, guys, I will chat with you again soon. Love ya. Bye.